Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Bad Seed DLC for Dead Cells on the Nintendo Switch. Can this one maintain the high quality of the original we've come to expect, or are you best just kind of skipping over this alternate content? Well, hit subscribe and don't forget that notification bell while you're there, hit like and leave me a comment below telling me, are you new to Dead Cells, or are you, like many, already heavily infested? I'm an addict personally, I can tell you that now, so let's dive in. So this review a little bit different. We're not going to be doing our, typical tropes, story, graphics, gameplay, audio. A lot obviously remains the same, it's DLC after all. So today, let's kick things off asking, what the hell is Dead Cells the Bad Seed exactly? So it's not traditional DLC, it's not something you play after you, beaten the game. This is actually an early game alternate route at its core. For anyone familiar with the game, the first few biomes, that's worlds essentially in Dead Cells. You've played these levels probably 100 times, the Promenade of the Condemned, Toxic Sewers, Ancient Sewers, the first boss, the Concierge. Well, Bad Seed, it's here to add a little bit of variety to that opening game you've been replaying over and over again, because now we get the Arboretum, a lush greenhouse, the swamp, known here as the Morass of the Banished, and then the Nest, home to our new first boss, Mama Tick. She's definitely not a looker. So how does it play? How does it compare to the original route? Well, first off, to get the full experience, I went in with a completely new save file. That's right, blank file, new game, totally from the beginning. That I will say, as a kind of seasoned player, is a weird feeling getting my ass handed to me for those first couple of hours. But I did this because I wanted to check out the difficulty, but also find out how the hell do I even get to the DLC, it's not something you just access from the main menu. So let's talk about that access, and it's simple. It requires a little bit of work, but first off you need to unlock two runes, the Fine Rune and the Teleport Rune. These, for new players, you're going to unlock them in the Promenade of the Condemned and Toxic Sewers, and it's, I will say, very easy. It's really early game. Once this is done, you can get to the door in the opening level, the Prisoner's Quarters. To open this door though, you are going to need to find a key. This key, it's also in the prison. It moves every time you load the game up, but basically you want to look out for a dead NPC. I mean, obviously, an NPC is dead, that'd be, well, game over. But anyway, he's easy to spot. He's the only corpse that's yet to turn to a pile of bones. It's a fresh corpse. Lovely. With the door unlocked, it progresses like this. The Arboretum first, then the swamp, then the new boss, Mama Tick, in her nest. Now, you don't need to follow this path if you don't want to. You can actually combine this with the original run to kind of really spice things up. So let's say the Arboretum first, then Ramparts, and to the Concierge. How you play, it's up to you, but you can't do both, meaning you can't, defeat Mama Tick, then go and beat the Concierge too, sadly. It's very much one or the other. It's meant as content to go alongside each other. When we're talking about bosses though, actually, let's talk about enemies. Between the two biomes, we get 5 new enemies, and then Mama Tick herself. In the Arboretum, you'll find the first two, a small and large walking mushroom thing. The large one, expect a pretty strong melee attack, a long distance weapon, which is weak, but what's really interesting is he can call upon that small mushroom and throw them at you to attack. These little ones, they don't do much, they basically charge and that's about it. Both of them, they're relatively simple to deal with once you get those attack patterns down. Now in the Arboretum, there's also one sort of enemy I want to talk about, the plants. Basically they're Venus flytraps. These nasty little things though, when you stand on them, are ready to bite you in a second and drain some serious health. Here's the catch though, you need them, because when they close they become spring jumps. It's an interesting mechanic that got me thinking about every step I took. Also, one nice thing, you can actually use them against your enemies too and get them caught in this trap. Now the swamp, the Morass of the Banished. 3 new enemies here, a big ass purple finger, basically like a baby Mama Tick. You're actually only going to face these twice, but those first few runs, they're going to kick your ass. Once you've powered up enough though, they're relatively easy to kind of just like swamp with quick attacks and get through them pretty quickly. They throw a couple of lava balls that can be a pain in the ass, but generally they have a pretty short reach from melee, and their kind of repetitive patterns pretty simple to get a hold of. Then we've got enemies with these glowing orange spears. These guys, they charge at you. That's about it though. They're quick for sure, but they're by far the easiest new enemy. And then finally the blowgunners. Yeah, these ones, they're annoying. They have like dart guns basically to attack from range. Think Ace Ventura, plus on top of all of that they can teleport too. Last up for enemies, Mama Tick herself. A few minor ranged attacks, a pretty nasty strike move, and her claws that come from the ground will cause a little bit of trouble for you, but she's very much a level 1 first boss. It shouldn't take you too long to figure this one out. Now with enemies out of the way, weapons, we all like new weapons, and here we get 6. The Oud, it's an acoustic guitar if you don't know. Left, right claws, and yeah, they're claws if that's not obvious. So wanna be the next Wolverine? Start here. The blowgun, like the enemies, I checked this one out, it's a ranged attack. It's okay, but I prefer the bow personally. There's a smoke bomb, twin fans, and then if you haven't seen it already, the giant scythe from the trailer. This was my new weapon of choice, and I will say now, I only used that blowgun, the scythe, and smoke bomb in my playthrough, so that's all I can comment on. This scythe, yes, I know. Technically, reading that off, it actually makes 7 new weapons, but you'll understand why when you play it. It's a weird weapon for sure though. I want to make a comment on it because I know a lot of people have been looking forward to it. It takes both the weapon slots, first of all, it's absolutely huge, but it's also really slow for sure. I'm curious to see what people will do with it though. It's definitely epic looking, I'll give it that much, but I don't know if it'd be my go-to personally. Last up for extra content, a new pet, a baby mushroom. As weird as that sounds, and it is weird, it's got good attack moves, some great animation, and generally, as alternate attacks go, I really like this thing. Okay, let's compare the difficulty compared to the originals of Promenade, Toxic Sewers, the Concierge boss. For me, that's an interesting question. The biomes for the new release, I think they're much bigger, but also more challenging because there's such varied enemies with unique skill sets in here that I'm constantly thinking, you know, should I dodge, jump, what attack type? Oh shit, now the Venus flytraps are going to eat me. Compared to the original, starting here, I think I would have been stuck a lot longer. When it comes to the bosses though, Mama Tick is just way too easy. I did get lucky, I will say, with a couple of nice weapon pickups for sure in game. But even then, I beat her first time, and I promise you that was not the case with the Concierge. Maybe though, my natural skills have simply improved now with the game as well, so I guess we have to factor that in too. So last up, before we jump into the final verdict, I want to touch on graphics quickly. Every time Motion Twin adds something for Dead Cells, they just step it up in quality, I swear. Dead Cells, everyone should know, is a stunning looking pixel game, there's no doubt about that. But these levels just push it even further. The Arboretum with its lush green forestry, you know, gone are the dull greys and more muted colours of the sewers and the promenade, and I couldn't be happier. Everything here, it's vibrant, it's tropical, it's growing, it's got life to it. Even the mushroom enemies, bright reds and whites. Then the sewers, an easy excuse for sure for, you know, boring colour palette. But not here, it's another massive success with like tons of metallic colours on show. Finally, Mama Tick's world as well, it's also really colourful, really nicely designed. You're walking through like water on the ground. But this level, it's still got so much darkness hidden in the background. Look out for hanging and crucified corpses behind her. Even the new enemies here, the animation, it's great stuff. They teleport, they come out of the ceilings. I mean, just look at Mama Tick, the animation, the design, it's just incredible. It's easy to say they're the best looking biomes yet. So the final verdict, Dead Cells The Bad Seed DLC is, yeah, more of the same, and I could not be happier about it. It brings nothing new in the gameplay sense outside of a few new weapons to master. But this, it's not designed to draw new players in, and they know that. This one, it's for the fans. New weapons, new enemies, new locations, that's all we need. For a game that required so much grind, I think the design is genius too. Not attach it at the end of the game where so many I'm sure failed to reach, but put it right at the beginning where everyone can enjoy it, new or old players, beginners or experts. I will say personally, I wish I could play through the Concierge run and the Mama Tick run together. I think that would have been badass, you know, not have to choose, but that is a minor complaint honestly, and I'm definitely being picky there. I will say also I'm no speedrunner, so I'm curious to see if this makes enough difference that we see some new world records being set. Priced at $5 in the US, £4.49 in the UK, or €5, this one, it's a bargain. It's like a cup of coffee, and in the process we get to support a fantastic developer who keeps on pumping out new content for free for this very game. On that note, actually, as well, I just want to say quickly, just know this isn't the end of free content. That's still all in the works. This is just a little bonus, a way of us, the players, giving back, because they are really seriously relentless with updates. Today I'm awarding Dead Cells DLC Bad Seed an amazing 9 out of 10. Motion Twin, they deserve our support, so get out there, buy it, pick up your copy of Dead Cells again if you ever put it down, because you're in for a great time. Thanks so much for watching. Head over to the channel where we have like over 100 Switch reviews live already. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment below letting us know if you're picking this one up. And with that, we'll see you all on the next Gaming X.